welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachael
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachael and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm pitting out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that? Hey!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Shooting
The Shit with Rachael
and Neal Young. Hey, today we've got a fun one for you. We thought it might be fun just to do a little week in review. So we're going to talk about kind of some positives, some negatives, some highs, some lows from our week, just to kind of get a little taste of what our week might be like. My phone's on private. I don't know if you can hear that. It was super loud.
I heard it. And Neal is getting blown up once again.
And I'm getting blown up for scheduling right now. They're like, hey, sorry, I saw your week's full, but is that real?
Can I please get in on Tuesday? Is Tuesday your busiest day of the week like mine? Is Tuesday just always insane? Or is it just me?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, early in the week is busy, especially because I have a longer turnaround in video, so people want to get in early to get the turnaround for the video because they want to launch it ASAP. So
yeah, I feel like Mondays and Tuesdays are crazy days for sure for the week, and I'm always just like hanging on for dear life. It's like, oh, can I squeeze one more in? I just need one more shooter or two. You know, when I think I have enough, then I'm like, shoot, nope, not enough. We need more.
Oh,
These are
totally
good problems, right? Good problems.
Yeah. No.
So Neal, why don't you start by telling me about your week? I know you had a big win this week, so why don't you share it with everybody?
Yeah, a little growth in the right direction. That's cool. I have Zach, who's been training with me and kind of going and assisting on shoots and stuff like that. He's the first person that I've ever got to the point to go on a live shoot. So I officially made an announcement that I've got another shooter. If my schedule's full, Zach can go out and shoots. And so he's been going out. He went out on 2 shoots and both were a success. And the clients were really happy and the homeowners were really happy. And so he's up and running on photos and floor plans. And next we're working on drone with him. And we've been doing some video stuff along the way. But yeah, so that's really cool.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you.
So how long was he training with you?
About a month he's been going.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's quick. And how have you?
It might have been a little longer than a month. But I remember at one point saying it's been about a month, but I didn't actually look at the calendar, so it could have been a little longer. Could have been a week or 2 more, actually.
How often was he going out shooting with you?
He was going out with me a few days every week. He wasn't always shooting. Sometimes he was running Matterport for me or something because we have the pro camera. One of my clients has started doing Matterport all the time on all their listings, and some of them are big houses, and it just kind of tanks my day. So I was kind of doing in tandem, doing some shoots while he's running the Matterport one floor and I'm doing stills on another floor and stuff like that too. So, but but the whole time I'm kind of like telling him stuff along the way, and he did some shoots in the homes. He did some that I followed along with him, and he shot the whole thing. And then we did some alternating on some houses where I was doing the lower level and he was doing the upper, and then we switched and photographed that way. And we did, I had some of his stuff get edited, even though I shot stuff, I still had it edited so he could see what it would look like and stuff like that, and gave him feedback on, hey, this was good, but maybe this angle could change a little bit, or, some little detail like you missed this thing under the bed right here,
Yep. Isn't it funny when you train someone, like how much you realize? Like you almost learn, you learn so much when you train someone, because there's so many little defined details that you don't even realize that you do until you're trying to teach it to someone. And then it's like, oh yeah. And then there's this and this, and it's like second nature to you because you've been doing it for a while now. Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like I should mention that it's hard training. I'm not great at training because I have a very singular focus. And so having to go focus on him, but then also focus on my own photography, because I'm still, most of that time I'm still doing all the shooting and also like helping him along. it was very difficult for me and draining and hard, almost messed me up because I lose my focus or my train of thought almost as you progress through home. I'm almost like, what did I shoot? What have I done? Who am I?
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
so, but
Totally.
yeah, no, there's a lot of things like that. Like I even left some of that stuff. Sometimes I'd go in a room and I'd see, like, I know under the bed that little shoe box is going to be in shot. I'm gonna leave it, see what he does. You
Yes,
know?
if he sees it, it's a little test. I like that. That's
And
great.
he's like, is this a test? I'm like, yes, it was.
Yes, it is. And you passed.
Yeah,
That's impressive. 1 month, that's quick. Like, that's impressive. For me,
Is
it's
it?
usually like, yeah. But I guess if you're bringing them out 2 or 3 days a week and they're actively shooting and practicing, that's the biggest thing. It's the practice for me. Like, I have a couple newer shooters who I'm training, but they're not actively shooting consistently. You know, they'll come out with me once every 2 weeks, you know, just because we're busy, and then they're not shooting anything really in between.
Yeah.
So, and I keep telling them, I'm like, you got to shoot. I need to see perfection before I'm going to send you out. So go shoot.
Oh yeah, and
You know?
and Zach's got a really good eye for already. Like I think he's got a better eye than me for composition and such like that. He's just like he's a whiz at that. Like he'd be
Great.
great at like architectural stuff. I'm telling him that too.
Yeah.
I
Did
think
he come from a photo background?
Yeah, he does, but not real estate. He actually used to do a lot of car stuff, and yeah, he's not done it like car stuff, a lot of car stuff, and then just some artistic kind of stuff. But he was just in school recently. He just got out of school and everything too. He's very young, so but he's sharp. He's very sharp.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's cool.
congratulations, Neal. That's such a
Yeah.
huge step in the right direction for you. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's cool. But I had that same reaction, like, okay, now I've got one. How many more do I need? Like,
I know.
so
Thinking
if
ahead
he
already.
goes out, how many days a week? Then maybe I could work, and then I could either work 1 day less if I had maybe 2 of these shooters, or I could, work the same. It's like, do I want to make more money or do I want to have more time to make more money?
Yeah. You want both.
Yeah. So
You want both.
anyway, so I know as soon as you think you got your goal, then you're like, well, okay, I got one guy who can work now. Well, how do I get another? But I'm not ready for that yet. I'm gonna let this roll for a while.
Nice. I remember when I had one shooter, I was working full time, and I would always like hog all the shoots to myself first, and then I'd have him shoot like all the leftovers
Yep.
because I was really hustling. I was trying to make as much as
Mhm.
possible. And now that it's a few years into having shooters and stuff, I'm like, I just want to give them all of it so I can stay home and just focus on building this thing, because that's a
Exactly.
full-time job in itself, just the
Yeah.
business side of it, and trying to keep everybody happy and keep everyone
Yeah.
trained, and it's a lot.
It
So
is. Yeah, I'd love to go out. My goal to have a 4-day work week or maybe
Yeah.
a 3-day work week. That
Yes.
would be amazing. But that's
Wouldn't it?
that's a lot of shooters. You'd have to have a lot of shooters to do that because it's not like you're getting straight up whatever they make. You're getting a fraction of that. So then you need
Mhm.
so many shooters to kind of fill up the days you would have made money.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
so let's talk a little bit about this big news.
All right. So we rebranded the business this
Yeah.
week. We launched our rebrand. So it used to be Rachael and Photography, and we are now Focused Media Collective. So with my name on the business, everyone that would book would just expect me. So, and I've been feeling this for the last couple of years since I've had other shooters, and then they come to they go to my website and they see a picture of me. They go on social media and there's a bunch of pictures of me. It's only me on my stories. I mean, it looks like it's a single outfit, but it's not. And it's really not anymore, especially in the last year. So it was time to just change the name and rebrand.
Yeah.
So we got a new logo, stuck with the same colors. I got new fonts. A whole new website was built out. My old website, I built it on Wix like 5.5, 6 years ago. And then my web designer who I met came in and revamped it. And she kept begging me to switch over to WordPress, but it's not cheap to build a website from the ground up. I'm like, let's just do like the revamp for 50% of the cost of a brand new one. So we did that, I don't know, 3 years ago or something. And then now she just built me one. I let her just have full reign. I'm like, go for it. And she was like, you are going to love WordPress. We can do so much more with WordPress than with Wix. And I was like, all right, make it great. I'm excited. So, and she did a fantastic job. I'm really happy with the work that she did. So yeah.
No, that's sick. Yeah. So that just sets you up for more growth to just head in that direction, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
And then
cool.
really showcasing my team. So we had a team
Yeah.
photo shoot that we did a couple months ago. And so I have team photos. I have a team video right on the homepage. So everybody sees everyone, they know it's a group of photographers. And it is going to be that business it's bigger, it is going to be a bigger business. So it's just time to accept it and move on and do it and embrace it and love
That's cool.
it.
Yeah,
So
no, I think that's great. And
yeah.
you're still all over it, but there's also,
Yeah.
I see all these posts of the team and stuff like that, and it's very cool. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. So
that's awesome.
it's been really stressful. So I knew the
Mm.
launch was coming. We pushed the launch back like 3 months.
Oh,
So
really?
like every month we'd get close and I was like, let's just wait another month. I'm not ready because I
Mm.
needed all the team bios and the team photos and all the media and the website, and my shooting schedule is so busy and my work schedule is so busy. It was hard for me to coordinate with the people my team of the web designer and the social media gal to get everything in order for the launch. So I just kept pushing it out like month after month, and then finally I was like, this is it, we are launching today. I am not postponing it again. So yeah, I knew it was coming, and a week before I'm kind of panicking. I was like, oh my gosh, it's next week. I'm all stressed out, like so much left to do. And then so we launched on Wednesday, and on Monday and Tuesday, I thought I was going to be a wreck. And I was supposed to not schedule any shoots on those days so I could just stay home and switch over all of my stuff to the new brand, which is, new email signature, new voicemail message, new, all the new branding needs to go on all the sites that I use. There's a lot. All your social media has to be switched over. So I did most of that on Tuesday night, and then we launched Wednesday morning. So but I thought it was going to be a disaster, just like stressed out to the max. And I was like freakishly calm. It was weird. I'm like, did I like drug myself and not know I did? Because like, I feel like I took a Xanax. I'm just like chilling, like, it's going to be fine. I just had this mindset. I was like, you know what? We're going to launch no matter what. I can't stop it from happening. It's going to happen. And I'm just going to get as much done as I can and not stress about it, because stressing is not solving the problem. Probably going to make it worse. So
no, that's true.
Yeah, so I was proud of my mindset. Part of it, I was like just surprised by myself. I'm like, I think I had more control over it than I realized.
Was it an out of body experience?
It almost was, because normally I'm like, oh, like kind of frantic and
hovering above your own body, like, look at this new branding.
Yes. She's handling it. She's doing great. So it was good. And it's a lot of fun. We sent out a newsletter that morning explaining the rebrand and why it happened. I put a video on social saying the same thing, like, why we rebranded, like an interview style video. And yeah, I had a lot of clients reach out and were like congratulating me. And a lot of my clients that I shot for, the last couple of days have said, wow, I had no idea that you had that many people on your team. And they're like, congratulations on the new business. Like,
right. They didn't know you've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I was going to ask you, how was it received? Was there any hiccups, any negative parts that came out of it, or has it all just been rolled out pretty smooth?
Not really. There was one hiccup. So my Wix account, since we switched the website from Wix to WordPress, my email address, that was my business email, I purchased it through Wix. And for some reason, when we switched the domain over, it cut that email off. So I didn't get emails all week from my old business email. And they're like, they forward into my personal email, so I usually see them. And I didn't even realize, like, one of my shooters went out to a job and he's like, I just called our client and she said that she emailed you and the shoot was canceled. And I was like, I did not get an email. And then I was like, oh no. And I went and looked. I was like, oh gosh, I haven't gotten an email since like last week, like, like, oh no.
Oh wow.
So yeah, since she had, for some reason, when she had made the new website live, like a week and a half prior to it actually going live, just nobody knew what it was. So it wasn't a big deal, but that way I could get in there and look, and I don't really know why she did it, but it was fine. So whenever she did that, it like turned my email off for some reason. So that was our big hiccup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
It's fixed.
There you go.
It's fixed. Yeah. And we're back in business.
Back in business. Has it changed at all? Like, have you noticed any change since now that some people might not realize it wasn't just you, right? Are people booking your other team members more? Have you noticed any change, or is it too soon to notice anything like that?
Well, so my ordering system, I use HD Photo Hub.
Yep.
And I have it set now where I choose, like the client will put the order in and they can pick AM or PM, and then I assign it to my shooters. That way it makes sense, with their location, and whoever can take whatever. So I'm actually changing that this week. We're going to switch that over to where they can pick the photographer and the time and date. And I am so excited because scheduling for me is a pain in the butt.
Yes. Yes. I can't believe you still are, with all the people that you work with, all your photographers, that you're still going and assigning those.
It's obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's
so
dumb,
I'm doing
honestly.
doing the same thing that you're doing for Zach now, that because I use Calendly up to this point, but now I'm setting it up to use HD Photo Hub too, because it's going to show the photo of him and I right off the bat. So they know right off the bat, there's another photographer too. So if they look at my schedule and there's no time, they've already seen this other picture. Well, I'm hoping that they'll then click on his calendar and see, well, maybe he could do it,
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a lot. It's a lot to do. Set up all that. I've been working on that forever, just trying to get that stuff rolling. It's crazy.
I know it is.
And I'm also setting up the if-thens. So I'm trying to streamline what they see. So if they're going to start out with a square footage, and if they say 1,500 square feet, then it's only going to show the things that are 1,500, that apply to the 1,500 square feet. Or let's say they just want land photos or exteriors only, for example, then it's not going to show Matterport, that kind of stuff. Trying to set it up like that. But yeah, then you have to do it I have all the square footage for regular photos. I have all the square footage for videos. I have square footage for the Matterport. And you've got, it's kind of like to the factor of 3 or whatever with all those. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, because I do small, medium, large, extra large, and jumbo.
Oh, is that what you do?
I have 5. Yeah. It's obnoxious. I'm like, can we just have one price for everything?
15, 25, 35, 45, 65, 75. Yeah, I've got like 6 or 7. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Crazy.
So anyways, the week was crazy. And then on top of that, I've decided so we're doing monthly filming now for the business.
Yeah.
Filming marketing videos, right? And I scheduled it for Thursday. We launched Wednesday, and then I had my filming on Thursday, which was, and the filming days, this is only my 3rd month doing this, the filming days, and it's a full day of filming, and we get like anywhere from like 2 long versions and like 4 to 8 short versions. I do some like motivational little mindset reels, and I need to be on it. I need to be on my game.
It's good planning right there, Rachel. Good planning.
I was not on my game. I was not in the right mindset. So I don't know. We might just scrap that one, just a waste. But
that's probably the session I'm most interested in seeing.
Fine, I'll send you the footage, but no one else.
You're just like,
and this is Rachel on a bad day.
Yeah.
Right.
This is Rachel all coffeeed out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyways, but it was a good week. It was just a lot to
That's
take
awesome.
in,
No, I can't believe that went that smoothly too. Because my old tech job, we used to launch stuff all the time, update the site and some new feature. And it was, it was always hairy that there could have been 2 days where everything's down and you're pulling your hair out and your clients are calling you left and right. And so luckily that went smoothly for you, because that can be stressful for sure. That was 2 of the big things that happened for us. What else was, did you have any other kind of lows, work or life related?
No, not really. It was just no.
That was it? You had no lows. You just don't remember.
I just don't remember.
You've heard of YOLO. How about NOLO? There was one negative that I had recently, and this was drone related. You know how you've either got the people that love the drone or the people that want to take a shotgun out and shoot it out of the air.
Yes.
And this was one of those. I was at a ski mountain, which was really cool. I was all excited, getting like flying by the chairlifts and all this stuff. There's a condo, just a tiny little condo. So it was all outside content they wanted, because it was literally 1 room condo kind of thing. It was like a split level, and it was just the basement part of it, really. But the cool thing was you walked out the slider to the back door, and right there was a chairlift. And so that was really cool. So I was trying to fly up, and the agent wanted me to try to do this thing, which to him sounded easy, but I was like, that's harder than it sounds. He wanted me to come flying down like I was skiing and like turning,
Oh,
and I'm like, I'll try it, but dude, that's a lot harder. As a backup, I'll just fly straight down.
yeah.
You know, because
That
it's hard
is
enough.
hard because
It's
it's
hard
both
enough.
sticks. It's
Yeah.
both sticks,
Oh, yeah,
and it's
and do it smooth, not just be like,
yeah,
you
right?
know, like yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I failed at that part,
Oh,
but I did the regular fly down. It was fine. But anyway, so while I'm trying to do this thing down the hill, and granted, I feel like, come on, relax a little bit. You have condos right next to a chairlift, so people are looking at your house all day long. Literally
right.
10 feet from your house is a chairlift. Everyone's going by. But anyway, the guys come out on the porch, and the first guy came out. He was kind of all right about it. Hey, what are you doing? And I said, oh yeah, just or no, he said, oh, which house is for sale, right? And I was like,
Mm.
oh, it's unit 3, whatever. And he's like, I figured that's what you're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, exactly. Coming for sale soon. And he's like, oh, cool, you know. But he was a little like, you could tell that he was a little like annoyed, you know, just I don't know,
Mhm.
you know, you get the vibe from people, right? So then I'm just flying, and he was whatever about it, but he stayed out on his porch at that point, right? So I'm like, ugh, I gotta try and avoid that being in shot. He's out on the porch. So then these other two guys, like the next condo over, come out, and they just yell, "This is an invasion of privacy!"
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, and like okay, you know, like that. It's all
Don't
of a
you
sudden.
just want to say, like, and all these people riding up on the chairlift next to you, like
I
that doesn't
know.
bother you, but this little drone
That's was
is
my
bothering
exact
you?
thought. Everybody's
Weird.
what? I don't understand. It makes no sense. But
Yeah,
people get a thing about drones
they do.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and the thing is, you try to say something, but all it does is make the situation worse. You know. And I was trying to say, oh well, I'm not focusing on your house over there, sir. I said something like that, right? And he was like, oh sure you're not. And I'm like, okay, right. So I'm like,
Yep.
and I was just like, all right, I know how this is gonna go south real quick. So I just said, all right, what I've got is what I've got. I'm out.
Yeah. Forget it. It's not worth
'Cause-
getting shot down by a
no, literally,
crazy
and
neighbor.
yeah, and then the other guy joined in then at that point and did a like he said something like, oh, I think my he had like hunting dogs. I think they want me to shoot it down so they can retrieve it. Like, and you know, it was like he was being funny, but not
Yeah.
really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like,
okay, time to go. And so I went to the agent and I was just like, hey, pulled him aside and I'm like, hey, so the hostiles became unfriendly. And so I've just decided it's a wrap. I'm going to go put my stuff in my car and get out of here, lickety split. Because the thing I don't want to happen is now them to like be waiting for me to walk to my car and trying to approach me or who knows. You know,
Mhm.
people get real weird about it. Take that footage of me out of there. Give me your memory card, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you
and I
never
was like,
know.
that's what's happening next. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I'm out. Too much, too much. I've been
So
yelled at a couple times, and I always just kill him with kindness. I always just explain. I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a real estate photographer. I'm taking real estate photos here at this house. They're gonna put it up for sale." And that, out of the like 5 or 6 times I've been yelled at, has diffused the situation. And most of them are
yeah.
like, "Oh, okay." And then I had one gal that was just super pissed that I was over her property. She was like, "You're over my property." I'm like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I was just trying to get a shot of this house.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Stay off my, don't fly over my property. Stay off it." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry. I don't think you own the airspace, but okay." I don't
I
know. Do
know.
they? Do they? Like, how far up do you own?
You know, it is what it is. I mean, the other
Anyway.
thing is, there's like satellite of everything, right?
Right. Google Maps can literally see
Have
your
you?
whole yard.
Let's
You
just go
zoom
look at your
in.
whole yard right now. It's kind
Yeah.
of it's a weird thing. I get it because it's new for people and it makes them nervous and stuff like that. But at the same time, the way they approach it, they come out hostile like that. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Well, and
wow.
it's not like you're hovering. I mean, maybe you are trying to get a shot. It looks like you're hovering over really like camera aimed at them. Like most of the time
Yeah.
you're
hmm
pretty focused on the house that you're shooting.
And they
Uh,
don't know. They can't. If you look up at a
right,
drone, you don't know anything about it. They don't know what it's doing. It just
right,
makes them nervous. So I
exactly.
can understand at the same time, but I just wish that people could have maybe approach it a little, like just come out a little nicer. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing?
But I mean, I've been on there.
Hello.
I've exactly start out with a hi. Hey, what are
Yeah.
you up to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just what are you doing? It's like, hi, I'm Neal. Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
Right. I'll
Yeah.
feel better.
So that was, yeah. And those guys overheard me tell the other guy that it was real estate. So I already knew it was real estate, but that
Right.
wasn't
They didn't
helping
care.
them. no,
They
it
wouldn't
wasn't
care.
working for them. So
I always
I
tell them,
was
I'm like,
like,
I'm not
"Oh, okay."
filming. I always tell them, I say, I'm not filming your house. Like, I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
I'm not getting your house in it. And maybe a tiny bit, but yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry.
and
I'm
that's
not,
what I
not
said. I was
stalking
like,
you.
sure you're not, but I definitely had their house because they were right on the mountain.
had
You're
to.
trying to get shots of the mountain. How are you going to avoid the whole strip of condos if you're trying to get one condo?
Right.
So
Right.
what are you
Yeah.
going to do? So it's like I wasn't going to argue. It was like, okay. Luckily, I had got a bunch of footage already, and I'm like, this ain't worth the heat. I'm out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm like to the agent, I'm like, look, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're not going to get some heat from the neighbors calling you about this, but they didn't like it. So, there's nothing I'm doing is in the wrong, but it's not, sometimes it's just not worth the battle. But
Yeah.
I did have a positive experience today with the drone though. So sometimes you get the positive ones. And today I was shooting land. The neighbor of this owner of this land was like a cousin or something like that. So she actually walked the property with me to show me around some of the stuff. And at the end I was shooting and I can hear them over on their little beach, like her and a couple of kids in the water playing or whatever. And she says something like, wouldn't it be cool if he got a shot of us? And I could hear him in the woods and I'm like, do you want me to get a shot of you? I'll send it to you. And she's like, really? And so she was so cool. She was all excited, like, oh, and she's like, wow, it's so cool. It flies. She's like, you have the coolest job on the planet. Like she was so nice. So it's like either one or the other. They either think it's really neat and cool or they want to get a shotgun and shoot out of the air. So
right. Most of them think it's cool though, from what I've found. But I've been on the receiving end. So my family and I were out at a lake cliff jumping in the middle of nowhere. There's no houses. I'm surprised there was even service out there. But anyway, so we're cliff jumping and all of a sudden this drone flies up to us from nowhere and just like facing us as we're jumping off, right? And he's just hovering there. And I'm like, dude, so you wave to it. It's like, hi, you have no idea who it is or what they're doing or how long they're going to stay there and stare at you. Are they filming you? Are they taking pictures? Like, it's not a good feeling. It's really unsettling. So
and something like that for sure. Yeah. If aiming right at you and you're like in bathing suits and
I know,
stuff
I'm like, get out of here, you perv. Gosh, flip them
and
off.
my first thought is that guy's like a stock video guy and he's just gonna like throw it up online to sell it.
Yeah, you never know. You never know until I find it. I'm like, I didn't sign a model release. No.
I did have a guy mention shooting another drone out of the sky when he came to talk to me actually one time.
Wow.
And I talked that guy down by like you're saying. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm just doing real estate at this house and whatever. He's like, yeah, a couple weeks ago another guy was flying over here. Yep, we shot out of the sky with a shotgun. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Okay.
Glad that wasn't my drone.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Like,
right?
Okay.
Yikes.
Glad you came over and talked to me first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
good weeks for both of us. Neal.
Oh wow, yeah, entertaining weeks.
Yes, definitely.
What else? This was a really cool. I had a really fun. Another little high was I got to drive a standard Porsche. I don't know if it was I don't know what model it was, but it was a cool Porsche. I'm not like a super like car guy, but I know it was a nice convertible Porsche that was a standard. This was another land one. The agents wanted to show off the view up there. It was this awesome view over Winnipesaukee. It was like really crazy view. And you could just see multiple lakes and all this stuff. And so the homeowner drove the Porsche up there and we pretended like the girls that drove up there, but the agents actually didn't. And they were nervous about driving his car. One of them could drive standard, the other couldn't. So anyway, but we faked it. Like one was in the passenger seat, but he was driving. But then after that, he walked down as we were filming. So they had to drive their car down. And so they're like, you want to drive the Porsche down? So I got to drive the Porsche convertible down the hill. And I was like, yes, I love it. It's like one of those little mini adventures. It was so fun.
That's so cool. And now you're hooked. Now you want a Porsche.
I did like that. I'm like, I see why people like this thing. It's
Porsches are
really
nice.
It's so solid feeling, and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Porsche has one of my favorite interiors. I sat in a Porsche Cayenne. I was thinking about getting one of those, and the interior is absolutely beautiful. Like leather wrapped steering wheel. It's just everything is really high quality. It just feels good.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Don't do luxury. You'll never turn back, and then you'll be paying a ridiculous amount for cars.
I mean, I drove it all of 5 miles an hour, but it was still
good
cool.
for you. You're like vroom vroom. Just
So anyway, it was neat. It was pretty fun. So
that's awesome.
I have to put that. I don't know if I can put that out yet, but I got to put that video out. It was kind of fun. Did a lot of like flying. They were outside the car, like looking at the view and stuff, flying around the drone and stuff. It was pretty neat. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. It's awesome. Well, good weeks for both of us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That was an eventful week.
Yes, very much so.
A lot happening. Really excited for you, and I'm looking forward to see more of the posts and stuff. And I know all this content you have coming out is pretty exciting. So excited to see all the stuff you've been working on. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and excited for you to keep growing and hiring more team members. That's so cool. That's such a big step in the right direction for your business to get other people in, because it does get to the point where you really can't do it all. And
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, but my advice is to hire before you're ready. Like, get them started so that you have someone in your back pocket if you need them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And if nothing else too, I feel like you got to get going at some point, even if they only turned out to helping you out once in a while or something. At least you've gone through the process once, and now you can hopefully iron it out a little better next time you try to hire somebody else. And so it's all a learning process for me. So that's how I see it. I'm like, okay, great. Next time it'll be a little easier, and I'll know how to do this and know what the pitfalls are and some of the stuff that was tricky. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks, everybody. And check us out on the next one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.